We have close to 400 sex offenders in Lancaster County. Again, bear in mind, they're not considered to be have a high propensity to reoffend, as the courts have determined. They're men and women. There's a couple women that have made stupid mistakes and done some stupid things, and and in most cases, they do everything they can to turn their lives around and to become peaceful people. As they come back, they want to live peaceful lives. They want to become employable. They want to, if they can, to restore their family. They want to do all those kinds of things. I have a man that's living with me right now. He's on the phone with his wife almost every day and having very good conversations. There's a lot of restoration taking place. I have another man who's in contact with his daughter through the mail right now. It's something that he hasn't had for years, and now is beginning to see that association is being restored. So when we see people, and as a former state legislator, when we see people who are taking the initiative on their own in prison by taking specific courses to improve their lives, then those are the kind of people we can quickly identify and say, we need to get behind this guy. Pat him on the back and say, yes, that's what you need to do. And assign them a mentor. And here's another thing. A lot of these guys come out without mentors, and they run into all these barriers, and they have a hard time connecting, and they get frustrated, and they get isolated. But when you can connect them with a mentor, someone who can walk beside them and help them to reconnect, their success rate jumps significantly.
When we say success rate, you mean that they stay out of trouble.
They stay out of trouble. They don't get involved with probation violations, and some of it can be very innocuous stuff, like not for failing to file. So when that happened, at that point, that's when I wanted to get these guys out of Conestoga because of a lot of transportation issues I was having down there. It's not because they chased me out. In fact, I already made the decision to get them out of Conestoga before we even had the town hearing or town meeting down in Conestoga.
You had made that decision on your own.
Before we even had the meeting. I went through the meeting to try to educate the people, and it's been a good experience because there's a lot of people rallying behind me now, even at this point. I want to play to you some messages I got on my phone so you can hear the kind of calls that the people are calling me in. This is not a boarding house. It's not a transition house. It's my own home where I brought these 3 guys in to live with me as a family until I can get the house up and running. Okay? So we have Supreme Court law on our side, and we have the town that gave us precedence 18 years ago.
This is when you originally housed those 3
the veterans.
Yeah.
Well, they were World War II, Vietnam, Korean, from various different conflicts. Even my neighbors. I mean, the next 2 houses live next to me. They have small kids. Okay, and I went to them even today, and I said, look, if you're offended by the picketers out here, feel free to park in my backyard. And I said, I just want you to know that, I would not bring people into my house that would be a threat to you and your kids. And they both said, well, we know that. And so they've been very, very supportive. And the neighbor right next to her, she's got 4 kids. They're all small kids, And she's saying, Tom, she said, I'm not threatened by your guys. If they would be taking a special notice on my kids, I would be concerned. But they're not. They're doing their business. They deserve a second chance. And so I've got support even with my next door neighbors as to what's going on here.
Are you going to go to court with this?
Jim will go with me as far as we have to go with this. And we feel that right now, because of the Supreme Court law and because of the precedents that was set by Marietta, that should the municipality say that you're in violation of and you need to cease and desist and you need to get these men out, we'll just appeal it. And we're confident we're going to win it because we have those 2 things on our side, Supreme Court plus precedents.
With the town.
I'm safe. I know I'm safe, And let me say this too, Paul. Every single sex offender across this Commonwealth does not have to go to any municipality and tell them that they've moved in. None of them have to do that. They have to file with Megan's Law.
Yeah.
Okay? That they have to do. And if they're a sexual violent predator, the police, the state police, have to come out and knock on your door and say, hey, there's a sexual violent predator living next to you. Just want to alert you. Watch. You can't harass them, but just watch. Be careful. That's the only ones, the sexual violent predators, where the police actually have to come out and knock on the